if it's there, it is.
Shit, dude, man, you should have waited till I closed the porn first. Come on, man. That was dangerous.
It wouldn't be the first time porn has been shown on this channel, either by accident or I've had a few mishaps over the last. Matter of fact, what was it? There's a stream I still have privated. Thank God I didn't get flagged for it, but I forgot that I am a purveyor of porn and I consume it on the daily. Although I've been on pretty good behavior now that Mr. White has been here, because he does not approve of such things. He does not enjoy porn. So
you could edit out just the specific offending piece.
Yeah, that's why I just haven't had time. We've been signing books and doing. I was like, and it was just a bullshit stream anyway. We were just dicking around. It was just me and let me see, what was it? Boogie Bentley hopped on, and then Comic Book Bob, and Joseph King, the guy from Slaughter Squad. And so they all hopped on, and we were just sticking around.
So did Joseph at least wear his pants for that stream?
When he's been on with me, he's been fully clothed, which I appreciate.
Okay. At least that much is good. Yeah.
But yeah, like Bob was pulling up like wrestling vixens, and I tried to show something, and I forgot that I had been looking at porn earlier before I tried to show it. And so when I went on my Twitter timeline, there was a young lady, her crotch, and she had, and I was like, oh, and I got off of it immediately, and I was like, oh, but I went back and it actually ended up becoming the thumbnail for the video because someone sent me a screenshot. It was hilarious. Yeah, it was not my proudest moment.
Of all the frames to pick, it had to be like those two frames that was on.
Yeah. I'm always curious about that because it's like, oh, well, when the random thumbnail generator thing, it tries to pick a dynamic image to entice the viewers to, and I was like, yeah, that definitely will do it. So, yeah, it's not a good deal. So it was unfortunate. But that's why I privated the stream, but I could edit out those. It probably was on stream for about 30 seconds and the rest of it would be okay. And I think I will do that, but it's just like I said, I have been kind of busy promoting, and trying to sign books and ordering things so that we can ship these books out and doing all that kind of stuff. So that's what I've been doing the last few days, but trying to still fit in these streams and, and go on other people's channels and do things. So yeah, that's what it is.
Man, I know the feeling. Well, minus the shipping books part out, at least at this point. Man, I thought I was just going to be, all right, we're going to launch our campaign. We're going to do we're just going to, just full-blown shilling mode for a month. And then, work comes up, says, hey, man, how'd you like to go on an international trip for a whole fucking week, right, as your campaign started? I was just thinking to myself, like, if we had made Cyberfrog money on this campaign, I probably would have just told them to go fuck themselves. But,
right.
But the way it stands now, it's fuck, I guess I have to.
Well, but first of all, congratulations. You're over 90,000, I saw. So I was like, wow, you've been killing it, man. You're out here doing the damn thing. So.
Yeah, actually, just got someone else back, and I'm gonna credit you with that one. I don't know what's going on, but yeah, we're almost 1,000 ahead of Bigfoot Bill too. So that's good.
Yeah. So I don't know. I actually expected Doug to get some refunds once the Sean Gore, but people doubled down and bought more. But yeah, I definitely thought he was going to get a few because
he did. I did see it drop a few times too as I was monitoring that. But no, I think more people probably supported him just because that was fucking bullshit what happened.
Oh, right? It was absolutely bullshit. But that's the thing. It was strange for me because I know Doug and Sean were pretty good friends. I don't know what their relationship is now. Because I heard people say, oh, he just encountered him like a year ago. That's not true. They've known each other for years. Sean Gordon Murphy was an Earthworm Jim fan. And they actually told a story where Sean Gordon Murphy, I think Doug was in Atlanta or something. He was at one of the cons, maybe at Dragon Con or one of these cons. And Sean Gordon Murphy approached him with his cell phone, and he was had another buddy of his that was a big Earthworm Jim fan and wondered would Doug talk to his buddy, and Doug talked to him, and then they became friends. They exchanged information. That was years ago. He's been a friend. They gave each other like Doug gave him a birthday present. He drew a watercolor of. Matter of fact, he did it on stream. Earthworm Jim, and then Sean Gordon Murphy sent him like page 5 or 6 of Batman White Knight, which Doug just keeps by his desk, and he's drinking like Jim Beam and dripping juice on it and stuff. And I was like, man, put that in a case. I was like, I love Batman White Knight. And he just gave him a page. He was like, here you go. And page, I think Bruce Wayne's getting out of a limousine and all. So I saw the page. I was like, damn, just gave you that, and that's the cover for Bigfoot Bill 2. I knew about that a year ago. Doug told me privately that Sean was just waiting on his. He was gonna re-sign a new deal with DC, but there was a little gravy period in there where his contract was going to be lapsed. He was going to do the cover, and then he was going to re-sign with DC or do a crowdfund thing. They had talked about that a year ago, so this had all been planned, and that's why I was like, wait a minute, Sean knows Doug. I was the whole thing was weird. So I didn't understand that. And then, Doug had tweeted whatever he said about trans or LGBT or whatever, CIA, that shit was out there.
Yeah.
So the whole thing, like I said, it was weird. But I did see some people was like, oh, that's bullshit. I'm going to buy the book now. That kind of thing. So, yes, they were definitely friends before the shit show. Yeah. Matter of fact, Doug had me in a private room. I was in a private room with Doug, and he added Sean Gordon Murphy in there, and I talked to him briefly. Just told him I was a big fan and stuff, and then, he was in there. So I was in a private room with Sean Gordon Murphy and Doug Sinapple. So that was a year ago. So that's what I'm saying. They didn't just encounter each other. That's kind of a false narrative. But that's what I'm saying. I was surprised when Sean was like, I was unaware. I mean, I guess he's got to say whatever. Bullshit.
Yeah. To see, from what I could gather by what everyone involved has said, I think they talked about it, behind closed doors, and they just, I think even Doug was telling Sean, it's like, yeah, just do what you got to do to get these lunatics off of your ass, and we could just say whatever. And I think they're still friends.
Yeah, I don't think I'm pretty sure they haven't unfollowed each other, but yeah, I was I don't know. I would have to speak to Mr. Tenaple, but some of that shit was weird. Like he said, he talked to Sean that morning, and he said Sean said Jim Lee had said, hey, boom. And then he added Jim Lee, and then Jim Lee was like, Doug, I don't know what you're talking about. And then he talked to Sean again, and Sean was like, no, Jim wasn't involved. And then Doug deleted and apologized to Jim. The whole thing was, like I said, the whole thing was cringe. I didn't understand. Like I said, I would have to ask Doug exactly what happened, because I have no fucking clue. It was just weird just watching the whole thing. Because Jim is normally so quiet. And then when Doug added, he was like, hey, you told Sean. He's like, I have no idea what you're talking about. I didn't,
Oh, that's Ethan had a good point about that when he was bringing that up. It's like, why the hell would Doug go and do something like that when they're supposedly friends?
Yeah, it was weird. It is, like I said, the whole thing, it was very cringeworthy. So I didn't understand what would happen, because, like I said, I knew this cover was coming a year ago. When you can see on Doug's channel when Doug was doing the water cooler for Sean Gordon, the watercolor for Sean Gordon Murphy's birthday present. I'm saying they're very friendly. So I knew that Doug's friendly with a few people. That they probably wouldn't want people knowing that they're cool with Doug, but there are a lot of Christians in at DC Comics and stuff, and I know they reach out to Doug and they talk to him and stuff, and he shared some of that privately with me. But I just that whole thing. But obviously I've had some differences of opinion with Doug over the last few weeks, but and some of the things, but I think I mean, he wished me a Merry Christmas a couple of months ago, and I wished him a Merry Christmas, and we just kept it moving. So, but yeah, I thought it was weird. I actually enjoyed. Some people said they didn't like Bigfoot Bill. I enjoyed Bigfoot Bill. I thought it was good, and I got my money's worth, and the books are still selling pretty well on eBay. They get decent dollar. Like if I hated it, I could at least know I could get my money back at least 2 or 3 times.
Yeah, and that's the important thing. Everybody listening right now, if you hate a book, or better yet, maybe you start to hate the creator, don't burn your freaking book while your kid is watching and
AR-15.
all that shit. Like, no, so you sell that shit, man. Now, see, now Marvel comics, you can burn those, you can stab those. Like that, you paid $5 for that. You're not going to be able to sell it for more than 50 cents. I mean, yeah, you could destroy those, but Comicscape books. Like, especially that chromium cover that one guy shot up. Yeah,
I thought that was crazy. I was like, okay, first
could
of
have
all,
gotten like $100 for that.
yeah. I was like, I don't know. I just it's the principle of the thing, I was like, I'm gonna rip it up to show you. I'm teaching you a lesson. I was like, you taught me a lesson that you gave me $25 to do that. So that's the lesson I learned. So.
Yep. Oh, and it was the same shit when Blizzard launched Diablo 3, and it was just complete a horrible launch. No one could even play the game, and some people were destroying their collector's editions in protest. And meanwhile, Blizzard's like, "You gave us the money already, you fucking moron. You think we care?" Yeah,
that's the thing. You don't understand. So I just yeah. I don't know. Stuff like that's weird to me, man. I don't know. What is it? Protesting with your dollars. I was like, my protest would be not spending money on the shit. That's my protest. I'm not going to buy something to, book burnings. It reminds me of like when I was a big fan of like the old Death Row era back in the 90s, like right when Dr. Dre and Snoop and all that people were, buying the CDs. And then, there was this minister that was going around. He was trying to take them down, and all he did was make people buy more records. He was trying to, they would do these public, they would paid a flat roller or whatever. They put like hundreds of the CDs all in a pile and steamrolled them or whatever. And I was like, you had to pay for the CDs first, dumbass. You're selling them, and not to mention all the press, all the free press they were getting. It was just making the sales go up. They weren't making less people buy Dr. Dre and Snoop Dogg records, or what Ice-T Body Count. I remember they did it. Ice-T made a lot of money off of when he had that Cop Killer record out. And I mean, the president of the United States comes out and what Dan Quayle, the vice president, said he was like public enemy #1. Do you think that hurt his sales, or do you think that made little kids want to go, oh wow, the vice president just said this dude's #1. He's like public. I want to be a rebel. I want to be a rebel. I want to go get this. Someone's go get Body Count. It's like he sold a lot of records and did a lot of money on shows and stuff. It didn't hurt him. So I don't know, the idea of buying something so that you can film it and burn it or destroy it. I don't know if that really helps to, I'm showing you. I'm going to show you, Ethan. I'm going to buy Cyberfrog and then I'm going to burn it or rip it up.
Yeah, I mean, my artist in the chat right now saying, I think the SJW should absolutely buy Blade Devil and burn it. Please buy several copies. Yeah.
Oh, right. It's Toxic Man Baby. Is that your art? Would Toxic Man Baby like to come in and stream with us? You can send him the link if possible. That would be. I did not know that was your artist. I was like,
nope. He's not going on streams. I mean, I asked him, but he's like, nope. He just doesn't want to. So
okay. Well, like I said, I would.
It's totally not because I don't give him a microphone and a camera in his cage in the basement, where he does his art. But it has nothing to do with it. He just doesn't want to.
Yeah, but this has been a crazy week. Here at Casa del Tonio, this is we picked Kanan up. It's like I tried to tell him, I was like, look, when we get in the house, I was like, the whole living room is full of these books, and we have to sign all of them. And he was like, okay. And we get him back. Which it was crazy. Like I went to the airport in Nashville, and there was a woman there. She had one of the masks. It's like what you see on TV, people wearing masks and not wanting to touch each other and stuff. And this whole thing is strange. And then we picked him up and took him back home. Took him to the spot. And I was like, the first day, we actually did that little short stream. We were playing Street Fighter 2.
Nerd.
Which loves Street Fighter 2. It was
Dude, actually, the only fighting game I ever got good at was Super Street Fighter 2 Turbo.
It has, we got what I bought is the 30th anniversary Street Fighter. It's got like Street Fighter, original Street Fighter 2, Street Fighter Super Street Fighter Turbo, Street Fighter 3, 2 different versions of that, Street Fighter 4. It was a couple, none of the five. I think 5's like PlayStation exclusive or whatever, but they got all that kind of thing. So I've got an Xbox and I bought that, and it was like $30. I was like, let me drop that. I know I'm gonna play Street Fighter. I love Street Fighter 2. That was my shit. I was like, ooh, Hadouken. I've got actually mostly what I have outside of Madden is like fighting games. So I play Dragon Ball Fighters, Injustice 1 and 2, that kind of shit. And a couple of little side scrollers, Lara Croft. And I got Tomb Raider or whatever. I can't remember which one it is, but sometimes I had to be in the right mood to play like those Lara Croft games or Uncharted or some shit like that. I had to be in the right mood to play games like that because you really have to think. So I don't know if you're into those kind of games, or what kind of games do you play?
Well, recently I haven't been doing too much, but mostly when I play, it's some form of RPG or played a lot of old school, the Twitch-based first-person shooters. Still, I mean, almost
so
every
like
racing
Fortnite,
game.
Call of Duty, stuff like that.
No, not so much Fortnite, but yeah,
Really?
I did play Call of Duty like way back in the day.
Black Ops 2.
No, I kind of stopped after, was it the first Modern Warfare or was it Call of Duty 4? After that, every Call of Duty after that was just Modern Warfare with some minor tweaks.
No, Black Ops 2 was dope. Black Ops 2 was dope. Like Black Ops 1 was okay. What was it? There was one called World at War. I know my nephews were playing that. They were playing Call of Duty World at War. And they were playing zombie mode. They was addicted to that shit, man. I was like, my oldest nephew was like 14.
Toxic is kind of outing me there. He's saying, he plays the porn ones. Yeah, I play hentai games too. Yeah, I don't. Most of those I don't play for gameplay. I mean, there's other motivations for me playing those.
I was just, oh god, yeah. The way the games look, figure we might be in the same age bracket there, but I know the way the games look compared to when I was a young one, a wee lad, as they say across the pod. I know the way they look back then. Like I remember playing Atari 2600. Like when Atari 2600 came out and then the Nintendo came out, you couldn't even compare it. We must have had like 90 games on Atari 2600. I mean, Pitfall 1 and 2 and Yard's Revenge and Combat and Pitfall, it's like just Mario Brothers, Donkey Kong Jr., Popeye. I had all those different games on there.
Oh shit! No, so I distinctly remember. No, I had I had an NES, and I was playing Super Mario Brothers 3 like all the damn time.
Wow!
And then I went to one of my friends' houses, and he got an SNES. And I saw him play Super Mario World, and I was just floored. Oh my God, look at the backgrounds, and they're moving, and holy shit, it's never going to get any better than this. Like, this is the pinnacle of gaming. And enough, I think I was actually right. I mean, Super Mario World is definitely sits on top of
Super Mario World still holds up. It's, as far as a 2D game, a lot of the level of the graphics, it had the like translucent water effects and all that. I was like, they had the zoom in, like you'd hit the ghosts and they would zoom and all this kind of. It had a lot. I guess they call it side scrolling or whatever. I mean, it was just incredible what it was able to do at that time. And there was a couple of games on Super Nintendo, which like R-Type and Super Ghosts and Goblins, and that I thought were Super Metroid. That I was just like, because I had a Sega Genesis, but a buddy of mine had Super Nintendo, and the one game I was wanting to come out was Street Fighter. So Street Fighter 2 came out, but it was exclusive on Super Nintendo at first, and then they made Super Street Fighter Turbo And some of the Nintendo people got mad because I actually thought the Nintendo version was slightly better. Just at least sound wise, the graphics were pretty close on both versions, but the graphics, the sound chip in the Super Nintendo they had a Sony chip in there, and man, the stereo quality sound of Street Fighter on the Super Nintendo, you just couldn't. I mean, it was decent on the Sega Genesis, but you just could not compare the level of sound quality. It was amazing, and I was like, but I bought Street Fighter on the Sega Genesis, and I bought one of them 6-button controllers just to make sure I could, and I got good with Ryu and Ken and all that. I was like, those are my dudes. I was like, I was kind of a wuss at first, and I was playing with all the easy characters like Blanca and E Honda. Oh, those are the noob characters. Like when you show, I was like, okay, who do I pick that I can play with? They just got basic move sets, and hit them with the 1,000 fist slap or whatever, whoop, 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 and do all that kind of thing, or do the shock. But anybody that plays those games and they know, when you can see when a noob pulls up, because they only have those basic moves. Okay, let me hit this button real quick and make it shock or whatever. It doesn't do anything. But yeah, once I learned how to do Ryu and Ken, the game went to another level for me. It became much more competitive.
Dude, now that was actually kind of me with the first Mortal Kombat. And see, I played everything. Back then, everything came out on the Amiga as well. So that was my platform of choice. Basically, the Amiga was the precursor to a gaming PC, effectively. Yeah, and
what about the Turbo 16 or whatever? What was it? I remember that because there was a game called Bonk's Adventure that I loved. The Turbo Graphics, that's what it was called.
Yep, that one too. Yeah, there was a lot of almost PCs, but not quite. But
the Neo Geo, did you ever play that?
Oh, no, that was way too fucking expensive. You remember how much that fucking thing cost?
No, yeah, each game was like $150, $200.
Yeah, and the console itself was insane. Yeah, I mean, dude, I could not afford that fucking shit. Hell no. Yeah,
I knew somebody. I had a
never
rich,
played the Neo Geo.
No, I had a rich buddy of mine, and he bought that. His parents bought it for him. Went over there, and the cartridges were like that big, but he only had like 4 games, so he didn't have a bunch of games. He was like, you got all that money, but he had a big old TV. He had a big old floor, a floor model, 40-inch. Hooked that the Neo Geo up there, and he had King of Fighters and Samurai Showdown, and they looked exact. I mean, there was no difference from. That's one thing that, especially in the old days, the game would look slightly different when you get it home. And that was one of the first times he put that cartridge in. I was like, there's no difference. It looks exactly like it looks at the arcade.
Yeah, I think that was the point of the Neo Geo. Yeah. It was like an arcade at home.
Yeah.
And that's why it costs so fucking much.
Yeah. It's just the damn thing was, but I mean, I'm going back because I see Ted Zagara was saying it cost $900, but I know I saw him for like $500-600. They were way too fucking much. Way my broke ass. I mean, I was working at Hardee's. Making $4.10 an hour. I remember, but I would take, I'd get a check and it'd be like $90, and I'd go spend like 55 of it on like Buster Douglas Punch Out or whatever. That was one of it was because he had beaten Mike Tyson, and they gave him a boxing game on there. And there was a WWF game, and it was a whole different vibe on my Sega Genesis. But I used to play Revenge of Shinobi. I had a lot of games on Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I remember when Streets of Rage 2 came out. Like, I remember the first Streets of Rage was dope, but then they came out with Streets of Rage 2. And it was both games were 2-player, but they had extra characters. They had this big wrestling character, and I was like, oh God, he could pick up, and I was just like, man, I love that. It was just I get goosebumps even think about it.
Yeah, actually, I think a good spiritual successor to that was Gekido on the original PlayStation. Yeah,
there's only went back on me.
Yeah. There's only like, I don't think they ever made another game in that series. It was like a one-off little game, But that one, it had the usual cast of characters. You got the strong one, the quick one, and all that, the girl, all that. But my favorite was in that game. If you happen to land a hit right on an enemy's face or in their ball sack, you get it'll count as a critical hit, and you do like extra damage. Even better is they'd like freeze the frame with like with your fist like right on their nuts, and then it has this like very flashy background. It would like zoom, like pan the camera around so you could get a good look at what just happened. And this one boss we were fighting, both me and my friend started our combos at like the same time. But the first move in my combo was I like knocked him up in the air, and then he hit him in the nuts, and then I hit him in the nuts, and it's like, oh my god, double in a row, shit!
I'm gonna hit you in the nuts.
Yeah, but then it kept going. Then he hit him in the nuts again. I hit him in the nuts again. It was like 5 times in a row in the nuts. We like effectively one shot that fucking boss.
Oh god, Awal Azanabo. For $2. Thank you for that. Remember Fighting Force? Yes, I do remember Fighting Force. I don't know if that's a game that holds up now, but I remember at the time it definitely had a lot of us. Just like when you mentioned Mortal Kombat, and I remember they put it on the Super Nintendo and they put it on the Genesis, and the Genesis had the blood code. You put the blood code in. And man, what was that?
Man, isn't it funny how the times have reversed? How now Nintendo is the one that has all the good shit, and it's Microsoft and Sony that are censoring everything.
That is, I think. Well, with Nintendo being in their position, because they've been constantly, it looks like, in the little thing between Sega and Microsoft. I mean, Sony and Microsoft. They seem like they've been kind of floating around number 3 outside of there. Like they have a couple of core games. Like when they put that last Legend of Zelda out, they were killing it. When they put Mario Kart always does real well for them. Super Smash Brothers does really well for them. So they have a couple of core games that when they release them, their sales explode and everything. But
but no first party, but they're also the only ones that don't censor third party games. Well, at least maybe a few exceptions in the West, but
yeah. But I mean, just being woke and doing stuff, it's not good for business. I've always found.
And I used to get mad at this. Like I used to get so fucking mad when these companies just bend the knee and destroyed the shit I loved with that woke garbage. But now, I mean, I'm sure you could probably sympathize as well. Now that we're creating our own, I'm like, please fuck up your shit. More customers for me. Yeah, because everyone knows I'm not gonna pull that fucking bullshit. So yeah, just you sick of that? You sick of Marvel, DC, everyone else getting woke? Buy Blade Devil instead. We're not going to go woke.
Well, I wanted to ask you about that because, okay, first of all, go to Blade Devil because, like you said, you've done over $90,000. Tell me what the idea was on that. I mean, I watch your, I've been subscribed to your channel for a while now. I see your streams and stuff, but how did you get the idea for Blade Devil?
Well, I just wanted to make something that was, fucking cool. Something that I'd actually like to see. A good old action story. That's, it's really, I mean, it's an excuse to show a lot of action and fan service, but there is there is more plot than just, the 2 on her chest. There is, there's more to it. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of, just tragedy and horror going on as well in there. That's we get a little bit more into as the time goes on, but no, I kind of decided to do what Sid Meier did because this was back. Remember back when physical magazines used to exist? No, Pepperidge Farm. Remember?
Yes.
Yeah. So it was actually. I wish I could quote it, but I don't. It was in a physical magazine like 20 fucking years ago, and I don't have it anymore. But I think it was Sid Meier. That's the creator of Civilization that said, they were interviewing him about, how he makes his games. And one of the lines that always stuck with me is he said he makes games that he'd like to play. And then other people apparently like it too. So that's kind of what we did. We just like, all right, what can we do that we would like? And clearly we're not in the minority here because everyone's telling the mainstream like, hey, you're fucking up. Get back on track. So.
I'm looking at your campaign here, and I see you got the titty tentacle 3-book combo. So what's going on with that? 'Cause I see you got the little black strip there. So I don't know what's that perk about? What's
Well, it's about some perky breasts. That's what that perk is
well,
about.
because I'm like, okay. So is it safe to say, or is this just a goof? There's going to be some small nudity here and there in the book, or is that
Yep.
just all right? So
Yeah,
this is mature readers.
Well, I would say older teens, but see, my standard is, I mean, I think the Western standard for what counts as adult is completely fucked.
Yeah.
So I use the Japanese standard, where it's just, anyone who's hit puberty has seen naked people.
Yes.
If just having naked people in your stuff is enough to make it rated mature, then you need mental help if you honestly believe that. So no, it's I'd say older teens, because it's there's like you can see on screen there, there's a lot of just killing shit, action, fan service, but it goes to slightly darker places too.
How many pages are you doing?
Well, we're over 40 now, and it's still growing. There's also there's 2 side stories as well in there. That each one is going to be at least 10 pages, and then we just actually passed the $90,000 stretch goal was for the Monster Girl Bestiary. So I don't know I don't know if you ever read the Monster Girl Encyclopedia, but it's going to be kind of something like that. Where I mean, and even that, I mean, it's not just there for fan service. There'll be lore drops and everything as well. So just little description on what all the various monsters are that you see, like those 2 up there, they're little crocodile things and the squid and all that. Just a little description of what they are, why they evolved the way they did, and then you draw them in cute anime girl form, because everyone wants to see titties.
So. Well, I mean, I know I do. But it looks great, man. I know you were working on this. You had me on your show last year, and I know you and I had talked, and I know you were planning. You were wanting to get as much of it done before launch as possible. The book looks great, man. I'm really happy that it's taken off like it has, man. Congratulations. Awesome.
Yeah, I didn't kind of see. You just ask Talk. So by the way, he's saying over 40. I need a count. I'm not 100% sure. Well, I am, and it was like 33 pages. And we've added more than 7 already. So it's over 40 now. And more just keep getting added. So I mean, I'd need to do an exact count as well, but that's what's going on right there.
I was like I said, man, I'm really excited, because I was like, your shit just exploded, man. You launched it, and I mean, within the first 24 hours, you had done about $52,000, I think. So.
Yeah, something like that. And see, and Toxic there, he'll confirm that. And we were thinking, we're talking amongst ourselves, going, if this makes like 30,000 by the end of the whole, I mean, and that is just by the time we ship the book, like during the whole length of the campaign, if this makes 30,000, that'd be a good, all right, we could probably try this again. That would be good. And then we broke that in the first day. We were just like, holy fuck, this did not see that coming. And the reason I know some people in the chat are probably saying it's like, well, I mean, it looks good. I mean, you sold it well. Of course it was going to do well, but I've seen other, like you with Brand. I mean, as good as Brand was, you got like what, $90 on it when you tried launching it the first time?
Yeah, the first time, and then 1,800 the second time. Yeah, it failed 2 other times. So, that's I don't take anything for granted. That's why we launched Way of the Gun, and it's kind of like I said, it's kind of a weird place, because you're trying, you got books here, and you're trying to get stuff ready to ship out, but then you're trying to promote the campaign and do things, and I mean, I'm glad the main thing I wanted to accomplish was to get it set up where we go into in demand. One thing I know from my first campaign is the majority of the money that we raised, we raised over $78,000 on the first book, but most of that money came when we went into in demand. It wasn't, the campaign only accounted for about 40% of our initial funds, and then that gave us a base to start with, and then the other 60%, came in demand. So that's basically, I'm not going to run for this campaign. We're not going to run a long active campaign. It'll just be in store mode, and we'll be working on the book, and we'll do that. So that's kind of what I wanted to do. This is going to be one of those. I always figured this one would be kind of like an uphill climb, that kind of thing. So, but it's there.
Yeah. Yeah. No, if nothing else, I'd say it's probably just because you have like 6 tiers, really. One of each cover, and then all 5 covers, right? I think
it's 6 covers actually. Yeah. Yes. But but only one. But I'm about to say only 5 of them are for sale, unless you get the mega pack. Only has it has the extra cover that Kanan's going to create. We were actually discussing the idea for it last night, and this is a couple days ago. We recorded the brand director's commentary, which we sent out to the people that purchased that. Another thing that I like this new feature that Indiegogo added last year, where you can do the add-ons and stuff. So that's one thing that's really, I wasn't sure how effective that was going to be, and I've noticed a good chunk of the near 8,000 that we've raised is when you go on that page and you purchase, say you want Ethan Van Sciver's cover, and you click on that, and then as you're checking out, it shows you the Fame book, which you can add on, and then you can, for another $5, you can add on the director's commentary for Way of the Gun. I think that's something that is powerful. When I looked at my backer reports and stuff, and I said, man, I know I'd sold like 35 copies of the Fame book, and I was surprised by that. I was like, man, that's really effective. It's not even on the front page, and you only see it when you're checking out, and it's still, it's still helping everything. I was like, man, that's incredible. It lets people just add stuff on.
Yeah, speaking of adding stuff on, that's a feature that Indiegogo needs to get off their asses and implement, is a way for you to, maybe downgrading is a little bit, iffy, but upgrading to a higher tier.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, that literally should be as simple as, okay, how much did you already pay? All right, we're going to subtract that from the new tier, and you're going to pay the difference, and we're going to bump you up to the new tier. Like, that shouldn't be so hard, but apparently it is.
Yeah, that's one thing I noticed with this campaign and the new one. I've had people contact me and say, hey, I want to get this, but I want to get that together and all that. I try to listen to what your boy Zach said. I try to keep it simple. I didn't want to have too many tiers. Like I said, I knew the covers I figured people might want. And Ethan's cover, I've sold like almost 100 copies of Ethan's cover. I'm like,
and that's the only one that you don't have a sample of.
I was like, yeah, I've got the layout, but I was like, it's just the layout that Kanan did. So, but yeah, it's just Ethan's name. Ethan's name alone is selling the cover. I was like, but yeah, I have pictures of the other covers that are for sale. The Rob Willis cover, the Matthew Weldon, and then the one that Demetrius Miller did for us, and all that. So those covers are the the She cover that Billy Tucci. Matter of fact, we're supposed to go on. I need to confirm that with Billy. We're supposed to go on Crowdfunding Comics, and supposed to do that with him. He was telling me to come on, so I was like, I need to hit up Mr. Tucci and see can't we nail down a time and maybe talk my horrible current roommate into joining me, but I don't know. He's kind of stream shy. I managed to talk him into coming. When he came on, I've been on your channel twice, and I know, at first time we came on, Kanan was there, but Kanan was sick as a dog, and it was horrible.
That's when he lost his voice. Yeah.
Oh God, it was so bad. It was so. Hey man, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Oh, and it was like when he had told me, he's like, hey, I'm sorry, man. I was like, I want to be there. He's like, I know it's important to promote the book. I'm sorry. And I was like, dude, it was such bad timing, but we still sold some books on your channel, which I appreciate.
Hey, always good.
Yeah, but yeah, he was not in the best of health when we made that appearance on your channel the first time. So it was wasn't our finest moment. He kind of sounded like he had swallowed a thing of shredded glass or something.
Yeah, it sounded like he's been working way too much overtime on his night job, if you know what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, well, yeah, drawing, waifu porn, whatever. So, yeah, he's oh man, that was actually kind of fun when we recorded the director's commentary the other night. There was a couple of places where I got to, and I was like, where we went into Fame's house, and there was supposed to be a little bit more nudity there than we actually showed in the book, and I was like, there's supposed to be more ass and titties here, man. Supposed to be a little bit. I mean, they're hookers, It's supposed to be, when you're showing hookers do things. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But I don't know. Kanan, what he said, clean but tasteful or whatever. I don't know. He wants everything to be kind of tasteful porn, tasteful nudity.
Man, you should hook up with the guy that Drew has drawn Captain Love for maybe. No, I'm not saying replace Kanan, but I'm saying you could move the more spicy bits into their own like side stories or something.
Side stories,
yeah, and you can have this guy because I mean, fuck, like 20 pages in Captain Love, and oh look, there he's getting his dick sucked.
yeah.
Yeah,
I remember when he was. I've had actually Drew's been on a few times, and I remember I was going on his Indiegogo page, and they were on. He had a panel on the Indiegogo. I guess they were I think he said they were on a pleasure planet, and it looked like the dude was clearly boning the chick. It was like I was like, oh okay, there you go, bro. But I don't know. I was like, yeah, the pleasure planet. I was like, because I always loved on Star Trek, when they would talk about going to was it Risa? They go to the pleasure planet, Risa, and they would just I always enjoyed those episodes, but it wasn't as sexy. There was always someone stole an ancient artifact. Let's go. I'm on the pleasure planet, and there's no, I was like, is somebody gonna be getting laid on this planet?
Oh God, no! I understand that better than ever after having my current job for a few years, because these motherfuckers keep sending me places that I'd love to spend time in and hang out in, but then say, "Oh yeah, during the entire time the sun is up, you're stuck at this fucking conference." Like, you goddamn motherfucker! I wanted to go to the beach, but no, I'm stuck here. So yes, I just see it out the window. It's like taunting me. Just.
Always love when they, when I would watch Next Generation and they would show Picard. He was my favorite character, but he was like the most boring motherfucker on the way. He'd have a hot ass chick there, and he was like, I'd like to talk about my flute or ancient archaeology or some shit like it. I was like, come on, man. I was like, I need to talk about you dropping your clothes and meeting me at 10 forward somewhere or whatever.
That's what Kirk would have done.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I don't know. I love Next Generation. I haven't watched Picard though. I don't know if you've been watching that. I've been seeing some of the videos that have come up, and it's just because when I saw the trailer, I was like, first of all, he's almost 80 years old, so he's already old, and he just looks old. And I was like, way too old to be. I was like, I remember I saw the trailer and I said, someone needs to get him a warm blanket and a cup of milk, and just kind of make sure he doesn't daughter off somewhere. I just, and then they're like, oh, 7 of 9 is a lesbian and all this. I was like, okay. It just really kind of bummed me out because I really loved. I loved 7. I thought Voyager was kind of almost like it wasn't Enterprise bad. Like Enterprise, I thought was I did not enjoy Enterprise that much, but but Voyager was okay, but it had some moments like when they had Tom Paris and Catherine Janeway turn into those salamanders.
Yeah,
they turned into like salamanders, had sex with each other, had babies, then they got turned back into humans, and then the babies were left there. They were like, oh, well, they'll just live their lives as salamanders or whatever. And I was like,
Yeah, that entire episode's like, oh, so that's what happens when you go above warp 10, huh? Okay.
Yeah, that whole thing was weird because I was like, okay, so the captain and like one of her subordinates had sexual relations and a child, or more. Actually, it was more than it was. They had a whole nest of babies, and the Voyager crew were able to, through DNA and scanning, determine that these two were Janeway and Paris. So, but the offspring that they had, the little salamander babies, are somehow just fully salamander, and they're not. Wouldn't the offspring have the DNA of the parents, and therefore they should be able to be turned into? I thought that whoever thought that must have been on thought of that episode must have been on LSD. I really thought that was, because I noticed they never discussed it ever again. They never talked about that episode.
Well, or they just didn't give a fuck. I mean, you could see that with the Marvel and DC writing. There's so many things don't make sense, but these people don't give a fuck. They're not there to tell good stories. They're there to push their ideology. They don't care.
Yeah, that was like, I thought that, but like I said, I thought that was a strange episode to never come back and talk about it again. I was like, okay, so Janeway actually had offspring. she gave birth, because human Catherine Janeway's had no children. So.
Well, no, did she really give birth, or was it just fertilized eggs? I mean,
well, no, they actually showed the little lizard babies crawling off into the pond. They they.
Oh, I know, but lizards don't give birth. Like, they just lay eggs, and the eggs get fertilized, right?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah. But they were fertilized by Paris. I don't know. The whole thing was weird. I just thought that was strange that they left the little babies. I just thought it was strange. I was like, they turned Janeway and Paris back into humans. So wouldn't they be able to turn the little babies into like human babies? I thought the whole thing was weird. I don't know, that particular episode bothered me so much. And I just, I was like, that one was weird. It just, God,
the ending of that show was fucking weird. Like, oh, hey, let's just go back in time and render the entire last half of our journey obsolete. Okay.
Hold on, let me see here. The rock biter for 20. Hey, Antonio, it's your Louisiana cousin. Well, hello, I like cousins. Can you and RG tell me again how Comicsgate is failing with first timers like you two, busting right past 75 on their books? Looking forward to that Sauce Picante video. I don't know about the Sauce Picante video. I wanted to do another gumbo video with Kanan, since I introduced him to gumbo. He had never had gumbo, and he destroyed almost a full pot of gumbo. I thought we'd be eating it for a couple of days, and we would just, he ate one. He was like, "Damn, this is good. Go back and get another bowl." I was like, but by the end of the day, we didn't tore that thing up. I was like, the gumbo. But yes, hey, it was. I don't take anything for granted with like I said, my first two attempts to crowdfund brand were, in the crapper, unfortunately. But it was more, that's one thing I had to learn about social media, is about, knowing people and, and being able to, pop on these streams and advertise and, and just kind of network. You just got to do that kind of stuff. Obviously, URGE, you built your channel up, and you've got this, you got a nice following there. I mean, we 60 some odd, more than that on your channel. It's pretty big. So,
like 63. Actually, let me check. Yeah, because especially given how YouTube's been fucking around. 63,401 now.
Oh wow. Okay.
Yeah, but that's. As you especially notice, I've been here for like 7 years, and I know at least half of my subs are probably like inactive or dead accounts anyway. Yeah, so you kind of realize that sub count isn't really all that important. What's important is your active user base.
Yeah,
I got a pretty awesome active user base.
Well, I know. Yeah, I know. Just watching your streams. As a matter of fact, one of the first times I came in contact with you, I was streaming. I think I was streaming with Jamal Baraka, Garbage Tier Media, because he's got a huge Facebook group. He's got like 240 something thousand people that are subscribed to his YouTube Facebook group. I mean, his Facebook group on it's an Extraordinary Journey of a Black Nerd. It's supposed to be, it's supposed to be kind of like a blurred haven, and they just talk about comics and video games and movies and stuff in there. And we got friendly and we streamed together a few times, and we were streaming. And then all of a sudden, people were like, "Yo, Rage Go Nicholson!" I was like, "Oh, what's going on?" And I started seeing all these people showing up in the chat. I was like, "Where did people come from?" And they said that you had sent them, and I was like, "Awesome! That's awesome!" I was like, "That's really cool, man." I was like, "You sent people. I guess your stream was going down, and you were like, hey, head over to Akari Press," and people showed up, man. It was awesome. I was like, yeah. All of a sudden, I noticed, and not to mention, the chat had like about 25 people in it, and all of a sudden I had like 80 people in the chat. It was great. I was like, a little small channel like mine. I was like, wow, okay. I was like, all right.
Yeah, no, and this I may have to give a little bit more advance warning whenever I do that now, especially after watching. Like, say the same thing happens to to Comic Book Hut, right? He's got like 3 people watching, and then Ethan finds out he's streaming at the same time, and then jumps up to like 500. Yeah, they're like, oh shit, who the fuck is streaming me streaming?
Yeah, well, that's I was actually on. I think it was the first time Comic Book Hut was ever on Ethan's channel before everything got all wonky.
Time, right?
Yeah, I don't think he was back because he was. I think he was actually in. He had 2 rooms. He had like the regular Comicscape private room that he's in, and he had like new Comicscape, and he had people like Sweetcast and stuff like that in there. And I'm pretty sure he added a Comic Book Hut into that room, and then whatever, the spurgery happened. So hey, Shut, I was like, so whatever happened. It was just, but I was on a stream with him, and I don't know, it was weird, and I didn't understand, but he didn't come back. So I was like, okay, he's a doctor. I don't know. Cecil made that video and it just had me dying, and I was just like, okay, yeah. What are you gonna do with all this money?
Probably spend it all. I have to see. The one thing I'm not going to do is pull a Critias. That's what I'm not going to do. Yeah, because that's I guess that's the advantage of having a day job. Is I already said I'm not touching the Blade Devil money until after everything is fulfilled, and then all right, what's left over? Oh, I guess that's my money.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing. I've had a few more conversations with Mr. Crid since he appeared on my channel. I've basically, a couple of things I've told him. I said, first of all, you need to stay off Twitter. You need to
listen to that at least.
Well, he's tweeted out some more stuff, and I've told him, I was like, I just feel like you're fanning the flames, and I kind of wish you'd smarten up a little bit and not do that. The second thing is, now I see Rod Looper posting all these Detective Dead pages. He's like, "Oh, he said, I'm putting this in the front." I'm like, why did the fucking nuclear bomb have to blow up before all of a sudden everybody's like, "Oh, I guess I should get to work"? I was like, that I don't know. Rod's been on this channel a few times. He's a nice guy, but I don't know what happened there. That seemed like somebody dropped the ball. Yeah, that whole thing. Yeah, but now when you, like I said, when you go on Rod's page, he's like, new page of Detective Dead. And I'm like, I told Crid, I was like, I wish you had talked to us before you sent that update out, because at that point, he just had a late book. I mean, I understand that brand's late, so you got a late book. So you have a late book, but then you have pages like, hey guys, sorry, been late on the update. Here's new pages. Boom, boom. Most backers, some backers are going to be upset. It's like, dude, the book's taking forever, but they see progress at least. You know what I'm saying? It's like, okay, well, he's got new pages that he hadn't shown us. The stuff's getting done. So he sends out the update saying the project's on hold. Everybody gets mad at him, talking about where's the money. He comes on my stream and breaks down where all the money's gone. Everybody's real pissed off then. And now we've got like at least 10 pages of layouts and stuff. And I was like, why did it have to? I don't know. That whole thing was not handled properly. So it was I don't know. I've tried to speak to him about that. I mean, it's
Oh
just
yeah, no,
because I'm a
definitely.
backer. I backed. I'm not just talking out my ass. I actually spent money on. I bought a hardcover. And I was sitting there going, and then saying, saying, hey, I'm gonna refund everybody and ship the books out. I was like, how you gonna do that? And I was like, let's say things that are realistic. Give people, it's like, maybe I can't make the book as big as I initially, I overestimated or whatever. I don't know. There's ways to communicate. People are understanding, because I've talked to a lot of backers like, yo, when he was talking about the book's 130 something pages, I didn't see how he was going to be able to do that on the budget that he had. So it looks like, even people that are upset at Critias are like, dude, chop the book in half or something and come to a stopping point and fulfill the book like you was. But you know what I'm saying? Like, cut it down. You don't. You're not realistically going to be able to do 132 pages. So cut it down. Find a good place to stop it. Get those pages done. Try to take that money, raise those funds to get the book printed and at least ship out that to the backers or whatever, that kind of thing. But it's trying to, okay, I'm gonna keep the book at this and I'm gonna keep it there and I'm gonna do this, and then you got all the backer rewards and all that stuff, and this stuff costs money. I've got bookmarks and prints and stuff that I've had to pay for. It's not cheap. So all that stuff costs money, and you're getting charged shipping to have the shit shipped in and do all this kind of thing. People need to be mindful of that stuff when they do these campaigns.
Oh, for sure. That's why I think we're probably just going to do the same way your boy Zach is, where it's really just books and posters. That'll fit in the same package with each other, and also the stretch goals are for improving the main book. So
yeah, that's the kind of stuff. Yeah, I was like, keep it simple, man. Don't overpromise. It's like, don't overpromise and underdeliver. So it's like I said, I feel bad about the Crid situation, but then, like, when he was breaking down some of the expenses, I was like, you weren't prepared, and sounds like, obviously he had some issues getting work, and then, the money, all that money's there, and then it's the whole thing. I was just like, I don't know. I wish y'all had a project manager that would be like, okay, because like, you paid the artist too much money up front. Like, you pay him, and then you're supposed to get pages back, and then you pay him a little more, and then you're supposed to get more pay. That's the kind of the way I would look at it, as opposed to, hey, let me give you thousands of dollars and hope you fulfill what
Yeah, that's the same shit that happened with Lady Alchemy. Just up front. Oh, here's like $4,500, and then gets like nothing in return, basically. Oh, yeah, exactly. Like, let's say their page rate is $150 a page.
Right.
Yeah. That's the point where you just, you say, all right, I'll pay you for, in 3-page batches, and then I'm not paying you for the next one until you deliver the 3 I already paid for.
Well, like, I know Ethan, that was something I had talked about with Ethan like about a year ago, and he was like, I wouldn't pay more than 5 pages at a time. Yeah. He's like, you pay them for 5 pages, they deliver the 5, you pay them for another 5 pages. That way, you keep that carrot out there dangling. The carrot's always out there just a little bit. You don't want to give them $20, $30, page. You know what I'm saying? Because all of a sudden they got a big fat stack of money, and then they're like, oh, I'm in no rush to get anything done for you.
Oh, no, or it gets even better. Now, I've seen this. I'm not going to mention any names, but and this actually has nothing to do with Comicsgate. This is, and completely external to this. I've seen this happen with another artist that he got like you were just describing, like this big lump sum to do everything at once. He got paid up front, but he also still kept up his commissions and everything. So eventually he's like, why would I bother doing the shit I already got the money for when instead I could just do these commissions and get more money?
That's exactly, trust me, all the artists that I deal with and everything, it's always a balancing act, trying to make sure that, okay, can I get this to happen? Can I make that happen? It's like, I need a new influx of cash coming in. And so what you've given me is dead money. Even though if I haven't produced what you paid me for, that's dead money. I need money for, I need future money. So that means I need future work. Yeah. So that whole thing is, it's, I don't know. That's why I'm saying, don't, because he's saying that he paid him for, over 70 pages worth of art. and then all of a sudden the art just stopped coming. And because when matter of fact, I had Rod Looper on twice. First time he was on, he didn't even mention. I didn't know he was the Detective Dead artist. I was a backer and I didn't know. I was like, I didn't know he was he didn't even mention Detective Dead. He's promoting that Black Tiger that's actually on Indiegogo now. And then he came back for Black Tiger, and then I said, "You're the Detective Dead artist," and he was like, "Oh yeah, I'm working on it." I was like, "Okay." I was like, that should have set off something, because I was like, that's weird. He not mentioned, because you got a book that's raised over $38,000, didn't even mention it, and that's strange. And then this book, I think the Black Tiger trade paperback, I think it's only done like about 4. I don't know, man. I just haven't looked at it in a while, but I backed it because thought it was a cool looking project. But I was surprised. I was like, why didn't he mention Detective Dead? That seemed like that would have been a pretty big success for him. It just seemed it seemed strange. And then I talked to Crid, and he was like, I was like, yeah. I said, I didn't know Rod was your artist, and then Crid had let me know. He's like, yeah, I paid him for some art, and he's been kind of putting the project off. He said he's going to do it, but he needs to do these other jobs first or whatever. And I was like, but you already paid him all that money up for? He was like, yeah. Now I started going, this is bad.
Oh,
this is And then he sent that update out, and I was like, he had already told me, and a lot of this stuff was behind the scenes. I was like, okay, so he's paid this guy for over 70 pages of art, which I think he says in total he's paid for 84 pages of art to Rod. And then all this stuff happened, and I was just like, okay. But like I said, Rod's trying. He's definitely been drawing Detective Dead over the last few days. I've been seeing that shit pop up on his. I was like, but I mean, again, that's the blowback, though. I was like, why did it have to go to DEFCON 4 or whatever the hell before everything started happening? Why does the shit have to hit the fan before you start drawing shit? Because I saw people like at them going, dude, did you take thousands of dollars from this? Because he's marketing books that to confiscate. So I'm like, okay. So as an artist, if something like that happened and I see your name on another project, I would be very hesitant to back another project that you were involved in. I'm just being honest about it. So,
now he has the motivation to finish it.
Yeah, like I said, you go on his timeline now. There's all kind of Detective Dead shit on there. I was like, he should just change his name to Detective Dead, because like when you go up down his Twitter timeline now, he's showing all this Detective Dead shit. And I was like,
yeah. No, meanwhile, with us, I mean, we kind of slowed down leaking the new Blade Devil art, but that's just because there's too many spoilers on the current batch of pages we're on right now. Yeah, because I mean, we just got like an entire page back, right? Like colored and everything. And me, I was talking with my artist, like, oh yeah, he was telling me, oh man, I just got this new page back. Man, it's looking pretty cool. And then I'm like, oh cool, can we tease it? And he's like, oh hell no, this entire page is nothing but spoilers. Like, oh, okay, I guess we're gonna have to wait.
Yeah, I get it. Listen, Ted Cigar says Mike has Miller cover should cost no more than 400, and that's stretching it. That's because I've seen a lot of people commenting on that, because when Crid was on, he mentioned that he had paid someone $1,000, but he didn't. He was trying not to throw Mike under the bus, and so he threw. And then as the conversation went on, everybody, like, that stream's still up, but people can watch it. Everybody watching it later on, he revealed that 1,000 went to Mike, and everybody was like, so that was Mike that you paid the and it was the whole thing. And I was like, I don't know. I get, because I'm kind of mixed on it, because it's, Mike's got, a wife and 4 kids, or 5 kids, excuse me. He's got a wife and 5 kids. I get that he shouldn't, I definitely don't agree that he should do free work, but at the same point in time, I know critics was saying, I'm going to Mike and saying, hey, I'm broke and I'm about to, I'm running out of money on the Indiegogo and the book's not selling, and I kind of need something to stimulate sales. And then Mike's like, well, why don't I do a cover and, help you out here? And then the critics said he had bought the art from Mike, and then Mike sold it, and then they've worked that all out. Critics has told me that they've got, Mike's going to do something else for him and replace. So they're going to work that out. I don't know when that's going to happen, but Mike and Critias have apparently talked and they've worked that out. So whatever that is, I just don't know when that's going to happen because, like I said, I don't know when. It sounds like Critias needs several thousand more dollars to be able to finish Detective Dead.
Yeah, and as you said earlier, how is he going to do that and then also refund everybody? Yeah,
I think, but that's why I've counseled creators just stop talking, because I think even when he's talking from a sincere place, he kind of fucks himself. He doesn't. He's meaning well. It's like, hey guys, I'm sorry I let you down. I'm going to give you that money back, but I'm still going to ship you a book. How the fuck are you going to do that? That's emotional. You know, when you talking business, you shouldn't be emotional when you talking business. Like,
well, unless he does everything the SJWs were accusing Ethan of doing before Cyberfrog finally launched. It's like, oh, it's only like 15 pages. Hey, look, it's digest sized and all that shit. Yeah,
that's why, like I said, I told him, I said, he said, I've tried to listen to you and not talk, and he said, but then I see people. He said, everybody's making videos and all. He said, and it's really frustrating. And he said, I want to answer, and I was like, look, once you set that update out, it was, I was like, and I was like, I thought you appearing here, because he has to come back on again, and I said, no, I don't think that's a good idea. I just really don't think it's a good idea. So I didn't. The second Critias stream did not happen because I just thought that was not a smart idea. I thought he made it worse from talking. He made it. Now, yeah, I could go in here and I could do another stream with him and get some super chats and have people yelling at him, calling him an idiot and a thief and all this kind of stuff. But it wasn't going to do anything. I said, you need to figure out solutions so that I can get what I paid for, and the other 11, almost 1,200 people that backed you should get what they paid for. That's people are mad, and I understand when someone calls you a thief and you go, "Oh, I didn't steal the money. I had to pay this or pay that," but stuff happened and life got in the way, or whatever Jeff Goldblum says.
Life finds a way. Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know, but I was just stop talking. I was like, let's talk in more action. Figure some shit out. You need to, get you some income coming in. Start putting that back so you can start making things happen. You've already paid Rod for 80 plus pages. Let him turn in what you paid him for. There's some people that have offered to help, do some work on the book for free to help get the project out. If those people are being reasonable, utilize those people. If they're willing to help, do that kind of shit. I definitely think he should, at least mention to the people about cutting the book down, trimming it, trying to, get it to a reasonable, look at your script, find a decent place to stop. Say, okay, I'm going to stop it right here. Get those pages, get them colored, get them, get them with the letter and font, putting everything put on it. I use Mix'em. They're pretty reasonable. Do that shit. And, and at least ship the people out. It's like, hey, it's not as long as I sold it to you but here it is. I'm sorry. And, hopefully you like it. Maybe I'll try to come back and fund the rest of it. I just miscalculated my budget. And, you don't do that. Some people are still going to be mad at you no matter what he does. I was like, that's one thing I tried to tell him. I said, you can put the book out right now with everything that you promised. And people still going to be like, dude,
but it's still late.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, that those things you can't fix. So, you gotta kind of tighten up and kind of work on what you can. The things you can control, I guess. So, I just like I said, he definitely needs I was like, fall back from the Twitter, man. Twitter is not your friend right now, bro. It's just not. And I remember I had Charlie's London on, and he just showed up in the chat, and the whole chat shifted. The energy once he showed up, everybody was going at him, and he seemed shocked. He couldn't believe it. He was like, "Why are they so mad at me?" I was like, "Cred, do you not understand how upset people are?" I was like, I honestly think he was like, I said I was sorry. I was like, it's not like on TV, man. It's not Seventh Heaven or something. The kid, Dad, I'm sorry. Jesus, please forgive me. You know, it doesn't work like that. You're not going to get solutions. You know, like it's not a half-hour sitcom, and at the end of the episode, you know, everything's back to normal. Life doesn't work like that. This isn't an hour or 30-minute problem. This is a problem that's going to, you know, be months. And like I said, even when he ships something out, it's still going to be, you know, that's what it is. So.
Yeah, this is definitely one of those things where you can't win, especially since, you know, even within Comicsgate, we're always ripping on all these SJWs who just take the money and run. Like, well, no, if you're involved in that, and that's another reason, by the way, shouldn't touch any of this money until after the campaign delivers. Now that'll really help you actually do refunds if you need to.
Yeah. But let me see. Then Nolo says, so we can use the same argument with everyone who embezzled a miscalculation. Well, again, he definitely didn't handle the funds correctly. I mean, that's on the that's not even in question. I'm just saying, I think just based on when he launched, he was always going to be operating at a loss because he even explained, he said at one point the book was going to be like 104 pages, and then he typed 132 or something. And so he made it worse by adding more pages to it when he was already even 100-page book with a pro and a page rate. Unless the guy's charging you $20 a page, which Rod Looper is not charging $20 a page. It's just the whole thing. I know from the jump, I know how much money I spent to put my book together. So I know how much I need operating, you know, going forward. I know how much it's going to cost to print and this kind of thing, you know, and I don't think he figured that stuff in. And then you have to figure, because I was like, even when the book showed up here, I started, you know, you're looking at the fuel charges and all this kind of thing that they charged you for, because they're weighing these packages that they're shipping to you. And so they're charging you accordingly to the weight and those things. I mean, this is reality, you know, it's more than just, okay, I'm going to do a book. It's only going to be 24 pages. So I know I need X amount and this and that, and boom. And then that's what you go. So once you start at 100 pages, which was a mistake that I made on brand the first time I launched it on Indiegogo, I said the book was going to be 100 pages. You know, I had Shelby Robertson as my artist on there. You know, it was a clusterfuck, and you know, I tried to raise. I think I set the goal at like 30,000. I was like, oh yeah, 30,000. I'll easily raise that. It didn't work out like that.
Yeah, no, see, and that's why, you know, it wasn't. I mean, we set our goal to at 500, not just because we could take advantage of Indiegogo's little algorithm, but also because I made sure. I mean, the book was like already about a year in production before we launched the campaign. We already had like half of it done. Well, over half of it finished by the time we even launched. And then see, once I got to the point where I could safely say, you know, even if the absolute worst happens, we could still finish it. And you know, to be honest, outside of paying for the artist or just of the other people that did work on the book itself, if you only have like 3 people buy the book, I mean, your printing and shipping costs are going to be pretty fucking low, all things considered. Right. So that's not going to be that big of a deal. But no, I mean, I was quite sure that, you know, I could fund the rest of it myself if I have to. And that's why, that's another reason I set it to $500. So I could say, no, regardless of how much we make, regardless of what happens, the only thing that's going to stop this book from coming out is if either like me or Toxic like gets hit by the isekai truck or something. Yeah, we'd have to die for that to stop that.
Well, there you go. That's why I was like, because I know like you were when we talked last year. I know you were saying, "Hey, I want to get more done and do all this." I was like, you were really. I think you were looking at some of the problems that other people had, you know, as far as being late or not being. You know, you were like, "Let me get as much done." That's one thing we kind of were mindful of when we launched Way of the Gun. You know, once the book showed up and we launched, I had money last year that I had set aside just so we could start the production early, because it, you know, Kanan was under contract to another company, and he was working on that book, and it took him, he wasn't able to start for almost 6 months, So it's like we had launched the campaign, he wasn't able to start. So it was like now we're 13 pages in, and we got layouts for more pages and stuff like that. That is, I want to kind of follow the blueprint, and I told your boy Zach that I was like, I want to follow your blueprint. Hopefully, you'd have a successful campaign, be able to bank some money, get the work started on that book, and then and just kind of do it like that. That's kind of what we like to do. Hopefully, as this campaign continues, and that's I'd like to do every campaign like that, where when we start, we already got like 15, 20 pages in, all that kind of thing. So that's kind of like at least the plan anyway.
No, and for in case anybody, I doubt anyone on your channel would be doubting you, but no, Antonio did send me the first, like, was it 4 or 5 pages of Way of the Gun? Like, this is like right after our stream, a long ass time ago. Yeah, so he's not lying. They've been doing these. I mean, it's pretty much like it's the first set of pages you can see now on the campaign that have been colored. But yeah, he showed that to me like months ago. Yeah, so he's been working on them.
Yeah, that's because the whole point is we wanted to be ahead. So even with the delivery date, I want to beat that delivery date. I want to be able to have this book completely done, shipped, and hopefully months before the delivery date.
So you should have set the delivery dates to like, no, it was a 2030 or something. then you're probably going to beat that one, right?
Yeah. So like I said, so I know just based on everything with the script, and not going crazy with the script, because I could write a 150-page script if I, but that's not realistic, and you got to raise enough money. You know what I'm saying? So my end goal is to make, just why we keep it 60 pages, do that, have Kanan do his thing, and then at the end of the day, when we get done, I want to do like a trade paperback, and collect and have it all be one story or whatever, that kind of thing. So.
Yep. Oh, we're going to be doing the same thing with Blade Devil from the looks of it. Yeah, because
how many? I guess multiple chapters. I'm assuming you have a bunch plotted out or whatever.
Oh yeah. This got the potential to run for. I mean, not nearly as long as One Piece, but for a while. I mean, this first arc is 3 books. So yeah, once we get the first 3 books out, we're probably going to put them all out in a collection as well.
Okay.
Yeah, now that's going to be a big one. Yeah, like kind of like what Vinny's doing with Through the Woods.
Yeah. And he's been very successful with that. I know if he hadn't hit 25, I think he's close, if not. So.
Oh yeah, he's still got like a week left. There's no way he's not going to hit that. Yeah, especially since his final day, he's probably going to get like another 10,000.
Let me see. Okay, so Blue Spectre is asking me, will Way the Gun be signed? I don't see anything mentioning signatures on the campaign. Okay. Signing shit is a lot of work. but I would like to sign books, depending on, obviously, I feel like if anybody, the people that are investing, I feel like I would giving them a signature. Is the least of my signature is of no consequence. I'm willing to sign anything. It's the having to fly Kanan out, having to have Kanan here for a week from his family, and so it's like I mean, man, it's been kind of interesting to see, because Kanan calls his wife and his kids every day, and they're talking like, "When are you coming home, Daddy? When you come home?" And he's like, "I'll be home in a couple more days," and it's like, so they miss their father. I appreciate his wife. Cicely let me borrow her husband for a week, because they're like, come home, Daddy. So most likely, if we get to a certain amount, then flying Kanan back out again would be feasible. I know I can sign everything. I don't want to promise Kanan's signature unless we have a little bit more support on the project. So I hope that's a decent answer. But that's an honest one.
Yep. And another thing as well is, I mean, both Ethan and your boy Zach learned this lesson in their own campaigns, and even Kyle Ritter, he decided to kind of copy what they're all doing now. Just have a separate tier for the signature, Because I mean, if your campaign only sold like 50 books, it's no. I mean, fuck, you could probably even ship that to Kanan and have him sign it and ship it back. It wouldn't be too big of a deal. But what would you do if you sold like Ethan levels, like 20,000 copies?
Oh my God.
You're going to be signing that shit for weeks, just like he did.
That's why I was like, and I don't, like I said, as we're getting, like I said, I only have him for one more night. So, it's my birthday tomorrow night, and we're still got, about another 800-900 books to sign at least. And then he's done about a quarter of the sketch covers, and he's going to be drawing sketch covers all day. Probably start on some more tonight and everything. I mean, it's a lot of work doing all this stuff. We sold 54 sketch covers, and like I said, I know he's done. Like I said, he's done about 14, 15 of them, and then start signing. So it would be like I said, I don't want to anything. I promise. I want to make sure I can deliver on. I don't want to just say, yeah, I'm just going to do this. That's because it's not true. And, from financials, obviously, if the people support, then, I'll fly Kanan back out again. Because, we talked about that. I was, it's like, hey, I'd love to fly you back out and hang again. And,
well, why don't you go up to where he is?
Just because he's got a house with 5 kids in it and a wife or 4 kids and a wife.
True. I guess it'll be a lot harder for you to room up with him. You'd have to get a hotel or something.
Not to mention all the stuff, because it'd be weird to, I'm handling the fulfillment, so it's gonna be, so I'd have to have all the books shipped to him, and then I'd have to go up there and sign, and then I guess he'd have to have all the stuff and fulfill and do all it. I don't know. It just seems, I don't know. It just seemed to make more sense to have everything here. So, I mean. What little, since I live by myself and it's just me and my Xbox. So, so that's, but yeah,
I know how that is too. I'm kind of the same way. I got some spare room here we could use. I just have to clean the place up a little bit, but, good times, man.
Yeah. There's, let me see. Fonzie a little bit says, that's 4 extra sets of hands to help back up. And that's true. It would be nice if Kanan's youngins were here and they could help us all pack all these books up. That would be fantastic. I mean, that's like I said, but then I would have had to pay for, 4 extra. Well, let's say I'd assume his wife would want to come to. So, like I said, so him, his wife, and then the 4 kids. So that would be 6 tickets that I had to pay for round trip. So So I had to pay for a round trip ticket. So well, I mean, it's a tax write-off. So hey, it's a business expense because he was coming down here for business. So that's a good thing. And I've enjoyed having Kanan here. I will say that I've enjoyed it. It's we've been talking for 3.5 years and not actually met in person, just on video chats and on the phone and stuff like that. So it's been an interesting experience having him here. And I was nervous because sometimes you talk to people on the internet and you get them, he's like, oh, fuck, that guy's weird. I don't know if I want to ever be around him again or any of that kind of thing. But it's been nice getting to have time and actually kind of goofing and cracking up and watching movies and shit and signing.
Hey, you know what? I don't think you have to worry about that ever happening because that's the reaction I get when I see you through the internet. Like, oh man, this guy's weird. I don't know if
Arthur Brown, the Kodiak for $5. Hey, hello, fellow Pisces. Happy birthday. Well, thank you. I'm looking forward to turning 45 years old and. It'll be midnight before you know it.
You're going to have Kanan join you in the festivities as he's still doing sketch covers. I'm sure that'll lead to some very interesting sketch covers.
I actually asked him to do one for me, which he refused, but it had some naughty stuff in it. But I asked him I wanted David and Dawn kind of having some family time, but he won't draw it for me, unfortunately. Well, I did ask, so.
Yeah, you're going to have to find an artist that specializes in that type of stuff, and you could get it, man. You got references for both characters, so hey, perfect.
there you go. Well, just said, again, like you said, it's been fun having him here, and I'm actually gonna miss him. Got to leave early in Sunday morning. His plane leaves early in the morning, so I think he's going to Detroit.
Yeah, no, dude, no, I flew back home. Now I'm finally back home after my damn trip, but I know it was an overnight flight, and I got back here at like 7 in the morning, and then I had to take Lyft to get back home. I was back home at like 8 o'clock, and yeah, and here I am. Yeah, I know. I know how fucking annoying that is.
How jet lag? How was the jet lag and all that good stuff?
Since it was, I mean, it's not that bad. I mean, I was only like 4 hours away, time zone wise, but no, I got. It was an overnight flight, and I not like I got really that much sleep anyway. I was just kind of, just half asleep the entire time. That weird. Yeah, because I was conscious of everything that was going on around me, but time was going by pretty quick. So I think I was actually kind of dozing off here and there. So yeah, I mean, we landed at like 6:30, yeah, and then I was okay, no, but that's 6:30 local time. So okay, I'm already pretty much back on track. But no, earlier. I literally I almost fell asleep earlier, which, then, oh shit, no, I got to make sure I don't sleep past Antonio's stream. So then I specifically had to stand up and just so I didn't fall asleep. But man, I'm on here with you now. I'm going to do my own in an hour and a half. Going to be going on with Adam Post after that. And then I'm probably just going to pass the fuck out.
I thought you streamed with Adam, or you're just streaming again. I know you streamed.
Yeah, he was on my channel on Tuesday.
Okay, that's why. So you're going on his.
Yeah, I'm gonna go on his now.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Well, that sounds interesting. I'll definitely tune in for that then when I'm not watching like wrestling and all the weird stuff that I look at on the internet that I will speak about.
Now you see what he meant to say, chat. What that translates into is while he's not cracking the whip on Kane and signing those damn books. That's what he meant to say.
Yeah, he's still, like I said, I checked on him earlier. He still had about 700-800 books to sign.
Yeah, and sketch covers.
Yeah, well, no, I was just counting the signatures. The sketch covers, yeah, he's still got a little over 30 something more of those to do. So we gotta knock those out. But we will be busy.
Yeah. So then if you just turn the camera to the other wall, you guys can't see this, but there's all sorts of medieval torture equipment and something that looks out of like it's out of a BDSM shop. Yeah, I mean, gotta keep Kanan in line.
Well, actually, in my room now, I have T-shirts for the campaign. I have Gemini mailers, and I have a stack of some of the sketch covers that Kanan did, and then that's what we've been doing. So it's got another night with him, and then early in the morning we'll be heading to Nashville to send him on his way, hopefully to land corona free. Unless they might be serving Coronas on the yeah. So I always love when they offer you an adult beverage on the flight. I've always enjoyed that.
Yeah, no, and I'll find out in about a month whether I'm Corona free. I don't know. Yeah, because they say you could have it for like 2 to 3 weeks and not even show any symptoms, and you're still transmitting it to other people and shit. Wow. Yeah,
that's not good, brother.
Yeah, so even though I seem okay now, like for all I know, 2.5 weeks later, I'm gonna wake up and oh god, I caught Corona Chan, and then I'm gonna then I'm gonna have to call up everybody I had contact with, say, hey man, sorry, but you're fucked.
Yeah. Oh man. Well, Mr. Eagle, I have enjoyed having you here. This is it's been a fun stream. I certainly appreciate your time here, and I'm again really excited for Blade. Blade Devil. It looks really cool, and I'm really happy. I know it looks like you're gonna cross over 100,000. I mean, your own truck to do that, so I know you're gonna hit 100,000. How are you doing? Any guesses as to where you think you're gonna stop? Or?
Well, it's going to stay in demand until we deliver it. So, I'm hoping it's not going to stop until we one way or another hit that Comicsgate 10 million goal this year, or however much of that chunk ends up being mine. But no, that's right now, that's my new goal. This is what I want to push right now is I think Doug beat us to 80K. Let's see if we could beat him to 100.
100K.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Oh, yeah, man. Let's pull ahead of Bigfoot Bill too there at the, and I know damn well he's going to get a huge boost when his campaign ends, but he set his for 60 days to start with. I'm probably going to extend mine, but
yeah, I'm gonna do a short extension. It's not gonna be, it's only gonna be a few days. I think maybe a week or so, and then I'm just gonna let it go in demand and get back to work on the book and everything. I don't want to. It's a lot of work trying to do streams and do all that and hop on people's channels.
Yeah.
And I got, like I said, I got a couple thousand books to ship out, so it's just not. It's too much. I kind of like to have it. Hey, get it here, boom, and just do the damn thing. So that's what it is. So.
Yeah, I kind of figured, I could sleep when I'm dead, so I can put that aside for about 2 months. Now, see, originally I was just going to extend. I think it ends on like Thursday or something. Mm-hmm. So I was at least going to extend it into the weekend so I could do another long ass stream and not have to worry about taking any vacation days or anything. Mm-hmm. So that's what I was going to do. But then I think I was talking with Ethan about it, and he's just like, no, man. I mean, it does better for your like Indiegogo algorithm and shit if you just leave it open because as soon as it goes into like in demand, it just like plummets because like Indiegogo stops promoting it, stops talking about it. So so there's no downsides to leaving it open to like for like the full 60 days. And he just said, just make sure your whole audience knows you're gonna extend it. So I'm telling you right now, I'm gonna do it. So I'm gonna tell it on my own stream too. Yeah, just to make sure there's no annoyance there.
Let's see. I see Art T Bear. Well, hello. He said, "Tony, you need to hop more." Well, it's like Art. I'm gonna do some streams. It's like I said, there's things going on, and just need to. Trust me. We've got a plan.
Kanan's ass won't whoop himself. How else is he gonna finish all those signatures?
yeah. Like I said, but there's a plan. We have things that we will do. We will do things, and phase 2 will start. But other than that, again, Rage and Golden Eagle, it's been awesome having you here. As always, you guys check me out, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, obviously on the YouTube at a Card Press. Cardpress.com takes you the brand way of the gun with my new slave there, Kanan White in the living room in there slaving away. And appreciate your support, obviously, not only for my project and for supporting Rage and Golden Eagle's project. Give them a follow if you haven't already. I'm sure you already have. And that's it. I'm leaving. We're getting out.
See ya.